I was able to stack another $600 day just trading with the trend off of my favorite VWAP as always, but another great lesson on stop loss placement and also just patience sitting through our trades. You can see my short here took about an hour to get to my take profit, and it continued even lower. Didn't get the best exit on it, but that's not the point on any given trade. I'm not trying to catch the whole move. Of course, we want to try to stretch them as far as we can, stress-free. But at the end of the day, I'll walk you through my management here on the short. Now, hopefully you've seen Futures 2.0, which is free for everybody that's on ASFX TV here. You can use code FIRST to get access to the live streams as well as the strategy that I fully break down here. But in that, you'll see the shorts on, I don't ever want to chase the first break of an open range low, which is these first 15 minutes set at the New York Open. And we get a first break there, right? And it runs maybe 3 more minutes, maybe that's 10, 15 points on NQ here. It's a nice little move. You could scalp that very quickly. Not so much interested in that. But then it pulls back. Sellers defend this New York VWAP, and we break the low of day VWAP in purple, which is anchored to the low of day, saying, okay, buyer or sellers are back in. They pulled us back, but sellers are back in, ready to continue the trend. Now, ideally for this short, sellers are back in. We go continue for a new low of day immediately. And I can pull up a million markups of it doing that, but you'll also find it like this when it slowly makes its way back lower, but you were never wrong, right? So we want to go over the stop loss placement on this, that it doesn't go at current structure, which is that previous current lower high there. Look at the structure to the left. Give it a little bit more space. Now, would this have held? Potentially, right? That's a terrible drawing, but the stop loss definitely could have held. But again, I always just like to say, think about how much more stressed you'd be seeing you get that close to your stop loss. Are you going to pull it? Are you going to miss management? What are you going to do? Where if I have a stop loss well up here, it's about halfway there. I'm still got plenty of room. We're fine, right? I'm not too heavily risked. We're fine. So even by widening it, you allow yourself less stress, ideally, if it doesn't threaten that stop loss as much. And if anything, we're getting still signs that sellers are in, right? There's our open. There's a lower high I'm playing off of. It goes into drawdown. Another lower high. Another lower high. Another lower high, all underneath the New York VWAP. And holding this open range low. So although it's not moving at the speed that I want, going to make that new low a day, structure is not changing on top of me. I made a couple of videos on it as well. I'm not too concerned. Now, of course, it could be better, but I'm not too concerned of we're not making lower lows, right? Are these going to be higher lows and we just move back higher here? No. Until we make higher highs with these higher lows, potential higher lows, I'm not concerned because structure is still falling on top and I'm short, so I'm good, right? Once structure is not falling on top, I'm not good. And especially when we're holding these VWAPs. So you can see my exit here, we'll pull up the chart, is at the low of day. This is now the third, fourth time back at this level if it were to bounce and come back either to break even or maybe even lose. What would that look like and how would I perceive that at the end of the day, saying it gave you multiple chances to get out at a level where it told you it was struggling? So rather than sit through it and maybe get a donut or even lose, let me just secure some green, because at the end of the day, that's my job to do. It's not to catch the whole entire move. If I could pull profits here, I'll do that, especially after an hour, right? Not that it doesn't work out, but my ideal trades don't take this long. It's been an hour. I've been through drawdown, break even, back to profit, right? You see it here. I'm going to walk away with some green if I have any say in it and I can control that. So we do. And if you go to the charts here, you can see moves well lower. Oh, well, we could always look for another re-entry. We could look for another trade tomorrow. There's always going to be another trade around the corner. That the fact that I didn't get the perfect exit on that, I mean, you can see I get out at this low, moves a little bit lower, pulls back, and then see you later. I was never going to catch all this anyways, right? My best exit maybe would have been like over here. So at the end of the day, yes, I left money on the table, but you can't look at the entire move and say, oh, wow, I got out here. I should have gotten out down there. Good luck with that. You're not going to be able to probably replicate that day in and day out. But when you look at it now with no drawings, you've seen now the full picture. Where does this look bullish, right? Still clearly these lower highs on top underneath New York. I got to be a seller. And especially you see the yesterday's New York go up above us in blue. Everything is pointing towards shorts. So that gives you the confidence to sit through that short, as well as you can even turn on the initial balance, which at that time, taking the entry wasn't even set. But since we were in it for an hour, you can see these red lines now, is the initial balance. Notice how there's still no breaks of it on these two pushes lower. So if we go over to Edgefill here, and you'll see on the initial balance report on Wednesdays, right? 0 of Wednesdays in the past 6 months has just never broken out of the range. And being that sellers are really showing their hand, saying that they're continue holding in through New York, Well, I know we're probably going to break out at some point, so let's go get that first break, right? So I get out here, and it breaks a few minutes later. Now, it does continue clearly after, but that's also because you look, and 70% of the time, it's single breaks, right? So you can either try to play that first break of whichever side looks most likely, given all the sellers today, and then after that, play the strong probability of the single break, trading in that same direction. So that could have helped you sit through with patience, saying, I know we're not moving lower yet, but we're going to break out of here at some point. It's clearly telling me sellers are trying to stick us in. And another great lesson on ES, again, I was here on NQ. If you look at ES, let's turn off this initial balance. Unfortunately, or whatever you want to call it, pulled back a little bit harder and maybe broke those lower highs that anyone that was short on the lower day VWAP break over there, if you're short on, let's say that break here, right? You have current structure. Like I said, stop loss should never be at current structure. Give it some room to the left, maybe this pin back here, right? Now it actually would have helped. So actually, you probably shouldn't have lost on this. If you had a proper stop loss, the way I would teach it is you have it at previous structure, allowing it to hold VWAPs, because it looks like it's above New York and you don't see it on here, but the overnight VWAP is right there. So it retests that and then comes a little bit lower. Now following those shorts, there's the long. Dirty. I always tell you guys not to do it, and I'll still preach not to do it because it's not the safe or smart, repeatable way to trade. Always trying to catch a falling knife, but I will try to do it 1 out of 10 times because it's very overextended. I mean, I can't find a single pullback in this move down. Right? I have one bullish bar and one bullish ball. This is just flushing lower. Let me try to buy it back up because I know markets don't just move in one straight line forever, even though they just did there for about 30, 45 minutes. That also notice the time. It's 12:17. So I'm 2 minutes into a new 15-minute candle. That's normally when I'll try to buy these reversion plays. That at the start of a new 15-minute candle, we tried to take the lower day VWAP. Couldn't. So sellers not gave up that momentum, but they didn't just carry us for another new low 2 minutes later after the previous close. So let's try to buy this back up. It's very overextended in my opinion. Could have been wrong, right? Could have went lower for another 15 minutes and then been right. We've seen plenty of markups like that. But fortunately, I timed it right and it moves a little bit higher. I trail stops pretty aggressively on these types of plays, not wanting to give it back if trend just continues on the flip of a dime. So we trail it every 1 minute and I get out on the red candle because once momentum slowed, get me out. And I think actually if you go to my report card here, that's the same link. Are these the same links? Well, it was the low a day, and it just chops a little bit lower, and then it goes a little bit higher, but that was the low a day. And we can go over the charts one more time, and you'll see on the 15-minute, another reason why I'm doing it. Now, first off, while we're on it, the 15-minute, another key part of my trading, when I'm short on this original idea here, right? See the circle that I'm drawing now on the left? It's below the overnight, and it's below the previous day's New York, right at the open. So all VWAP alignment is telling me to sell it. We had a bearish day the day prior. We're looking like this could want to be our lower high. And let's go make that next lower low. Does not look very bullish from yesterday. Now back below the VWAPs down here. So I got to be a seller. We're holding the New York VWAP. Got to be a seller, right? Everything was telling you to short it. You just got to sit through that patience and not get too chopped up when it's just slow. But then when I'm longing it, I could even try to rewind it. But when I'm longing it, it's way down here at 12:17, right? On the flip of that black bar. It's just a straight line down since 9:30, theoretically, right? From here to this low, there's really no pullbacks. This thing is exhausted. If it goes another 15 minutes down, I lost. But I'm going to try the idea out because I'm already green on the day, try to make a little bit more. If I lose, I give some of it back, but not all of it. And we're fortunately able to time the bottom there a little bit, but not what we're looking to do every day. Just on the extremes, right? The clean plays today were shorts to the downside. And like I said, on AceFX TV, it's all broken down on Futures 2.0 here, where today you saw me take probably the break play, right? I was playing obviously a bounce off of a VWAP up here above my head, but also there were break plays like a lower day VWAP or a higher day VWAP on other days. So definitely check out these chapters. I'm also doing an update to this course to add more markups of 15-minute plays, reversion plays, reclaims of New York, right? Tons of new information coming, so make sure you watch this so that way when the update comes out, you don't have to watch too much all at once. But a clean day of trading. So hopefully you guys made some money on the shorts with us on stream like we did. Austin took it on ES, and I took it on NQ and got an exit, right? We made money and we made money on the long. So whether I got a perfect exit or not, we keep on stacking the days and we'll be fine. All right. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you feel free to reach out if you have any questions on the VWAP on the stream. Like I said, you guys can use code FIRST and join for your first month free. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.